where it starts.
society.
That's where it starts, isn't it? And it's hard for parents. I completely get the temptation, but then that child gets to 4 and wants its own phone, and then it's hard to control, isn't it? Thank you, Emmanuel, for your call. Let's talk to Sarah in Rickmansworth this evening. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. So I'm phoning about oversharing. Okay. So it's to ask the panel whether they think to date they have overshared too much of their personal information, with the idea that Mo Gower, who did a really good interview on Diary of the CEO, his a really good quote was, "Our private information is our most valuable property." Now, as someone who has been doxxed and is still being doxxed, I've had to work with almost the forensic level. It's a group, the amazing UK group for everyone to listen, called the Cyber Helpline.
Right.
And they go in and they can actually see what information has been archived about you.
And I bet that's terrifying.
That doesn't come up on Google.
Gosh, I bet it's terrifying, Sarah, just how much is out there. Daisy, is that something that you were very aware of? Again, I think back when I was at university and, drunken photos and all the rest of it. And we didn't have to worry in the same way about where this was being uploaded to.
I was always warned about social media growing up. Be careful what you post. There's always a digital foot trail. But I do tend to try and keep my personal life and my personal social media platforms separate from my counsellor platforms. And I think I would always encourage other counsellors to do that too.
I think it's hard because, and I'm sure that the guys would agree with me, but as counsellors, a lot of the personal and work sort of blends in together quite often.
It's useful as well.
Well, it is. And also, look, any of us leave our doorstep, we go down to our local market or local street fair, whatever, we're going to bump into residents. We're going to bump into local people. They're going to know us as their local counsellor. They're going to come to us as their first point of contact for any local, if not national issue, and try and get sort of a bit of help from us, which is fair enough. But that means they do know where we live. They do know our social media accounts. They do know our personal accounts. They know who our parents are. They know who our little siblings are. They know everything about us.
Does that worry you?
To an extent, but only when it's... In my area, I'm 100% comfortable. My community is my community. It's solid as can be. I don't have any concerns. If I were to move somewhere else and maybe pursue a different type of political career, did something elsewhere, then I wouldn't want anyone knowing where I live.
Of course.
Right now, I brag and I'm quite happy. It's a local residence. Yeah, I live here. Obviously, don't come and knock on my door at night, but you know where I'm going to be. I can't run away from you. I'm your local representative. If you need anything, give me a shout.
Which is, in a sort of ideal world, how it should be.
Absolutely.
And I know you've used sort of social media quite a lot as part of your job as a counsellor, campaigning, keeping in touch with people. For politicians like yourself, local government representatives, it's a really useful tool. So how do you sort of draw the line between using it to communicate and tell people what you're doing and be there for your residents, but also keeping yourself, keeping your life private as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think first and foremost, it's important. I think it's important being authentic. What I post on my social media, say on my councillor pages, what you see is what you get. And I think there is great benefit to it in keeping residents informed, casework. But yeah, I think I agree with the last point, really. Of course, you've got to be, I do keep my personal life. I've got my own Facebook personal page for friends and family only. But I think, I'm sure the other two panelists will agree, I think being a counsellor is it's a 24/7 job. It's 7 days a week. I don't think it's something you can switch off from, and you're always doing stuff. But yeah, I think I found a great use of benefit on all.
It's the trade-offs you have to trade-offs you have to deal with. Sarah, lovely question, really interesting conversation. Thank you very much for provoking it with your call. Lots more to come as well in just a moment. 0344